Viewers were left completely stunned when unexpected news involving Mark Labbett began spreading, sending waves of concern across fans of the chase. What started as quiet whispers quickly turned into a moment that no one saw coming, especially when Hegerty finally reacted. Her response wasn't loud, it wasn't dramatic, but it was powerful enough to stop fans in their tracks. For years, Mark and Anne have shared a connection that feels rare on television: sharp minds, quick wit, and an effortless rhythm that made every appearance feel alive. They weren't just colleagues answering questions, they were part of a shared experience that millions welcomed into their homes. So when sudden updates about Mark began circulating, viewers instantly turned to Anne, waiting for her words. And when she spoke, it felt like listening to someone who truly cared. Anne didn't rush. She chose her words carefully, with warmth, humor, and that familiar sparkle fans adore. She acknowledged the concern, the confusion, and the emotion surrounding Mark, reminding everyone that behind the bright lights and clever comebacks are real people with real bonds. She even joked softly, saying that Mark has always had a way of causing a stir without even trying. If there's drama nearby, she laughed, Mark somehow finds himself right in the middle of it, usually with a biscuit. That line alone made fans smile through their worry. But beneath the humor was something deeper. Anne spoke about respect, about shared years on set, about moments viewers never see, quiet conversations, mutual encouragement, and a kind of understanding that doesn't need explaining. There was romance in her tone, not the romantic kind you read in novels, but the genuine affection that grows between people who trust each other completely. She described Mark as steady, dependable, and surprisingly gentle once you get past his towering presence. Fans immediately felt it. Social media filled with messages from viewers saying Anne's reaction calmed them. Others said it reminded them why they fell in love with the show in the first place, not just for trivia, but for the people. Anne also addressed the rumors directly, encouraging fans not to jump to conclusions. Her voice carried reassurance, mixed with her signature dry humor. "If Mark disappears," she said, "it's usually because someone hid the snacks." That balance, light-hearted yet sincere, made her message unforgettable. As the story continued, fans began revisiting old episodes, sharing clips of Mark's funniest moments and Anne's sharp one-liners. Laughter returned, mixed with nostalgia and appreciation. It felt like a collective hug from viewers around the world. Anne didn't shy away from emotion, though. She admitted that sudden news can be unsettling, especially when it involves someone you've grown to care about over the years. But she reminded everyone that strength comes from connection, and this cast has plenty of that. She spoke about teamwork, about how everyone on the show supports one another both on and off screen. "We're competitive," she teased, "but we're not heartless." That honesty made her reaction even more meaningful. What truly surprised fans was how playful the message became toward the end. Anne recalled a moment when Mark once confidently answered a question, only to immediately realize he'd misheard it. "The look on his face," she said, laughing, "was worth every wrong answer I've ever given." Moments like that reminded viewers why Mark remains such a beloved figure, not just for his knowledge, but for his humanity. The excitement grew as fans began speculating about what comes next. More appearances, new challenges, a fresh chapter that reminds everyone why Mark's presence matters so much. Anne didn't reveal details, but she left the door wide open. She ended her reaction with gratitude. Gratitude for the fans, gratitude for shared moments, gratitude for Mark himself. It felt less like a statement and more like a personal note to millions of people who care deeply. Viewers responded instantly. Messages poured in describing Anne's words as comforting, heartfelt, and classic Anne, sharp, warm, and impossible to forget. This story isn't about fear, it's about connection. It's about how one honest reaction reminded viewers that behind every headline is a bond built on years of trust, laughter, and shared memories. And as viewers continue to follow updates, one thing remains certain: this story brought people closer.
It reminded everyone that concern can turn into care, and worry can transform into appreciation. If this moment made you smile, laugh, or reflect, stay engaged. There are always more stories unfolding, more laughter ahead, and more moments that remind us why these connections matter. Because sometimes it only takes one honest reaction to remind the world how strong a bond truly is.